Dusan Vlahovic, there's politics behind why he is starting. He is starting because Juve, it's crystal clear. He's leaving. Juve want him gone. Do you think they get it before we wrap up?
The top four.
Like when you see Kelly not jumping in a corner, it's because he hasn't even anticipated the ball is coming there to that player.
Really
Vlahovic was bad. Like, bro, I couldn't believe. Like, Genoa, my eyes were bleeding. Ever since that rumor came, he hasn't been the same.
Ciao Juventini of the world. My name is Giuseppe. Welcome back on the channel. I was on YouTube trying to avoid Juve content, but unfortunately I watched and I saw the video of my friend Hajj with the title, Do Juventus Even Want to Play Champions League? We need to speak about that. Ciao Hajj, welcome back.
My brother, always a pleasure to be on the channel. Always a pleasure to chat football, chat Juve with you. Listen, we're brothers outside of YouTube, so it's always a pleasure, and I appreciate you having me on.
That's my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. Unfortunately, my pleasure, because honestly, if you can avoid speaking about Juve today, it would be more beautiful because it's a disaster. Guy, I will tell you immediately, or ask you immediately, what the hell happened yesterday?
I think with yesterday, there's a lot of things, bro. Like a lot. And you know, sometimes you say something and you're right, and you get excited. You're like, yes, I was right. I told everybody. 2 days before the game, before the postponement, I was like, Juve Parma, character assessment. I was like, I don't care about goals, assists, tactics, counter pressing. This is nice. Character assessment. Because every single time this season, when Juventus have gone into a game where you're looking at them and you're thinking, you have to win. Like, you can't draw, you can't lose, you have to win. Because there's things going on the outside, you have to win. Parma, I was like, okay, if Juventus had played them on Sunday, Juventus would have played them being the last team in this area. So everyone's played. Roma, Bologna, Lazio, Bologna, they've all played. If they win, you must win. If they draw, you must win. If they lose, you must win. The fact that they were all now at the same time, so now you don't even know what's going on. And bro, I was just watching that game and I saw like an alarm bell go off in my head in the first 15 minutes because I was like, okay, sweet. Parma, with all due respect, like a club full of history, what they've done in the past, you don't need to play Parma the way you played them because I felt like they showed them too much respect for a team that's 16th. At the start of the game, they were 16th in this area. So I'm thinking, you're the big boys. Yeah, you're the big boys. Go there, get the job done. Thank you. Let me take my 3 points and I'm out of here. Bro, first 15 minutes, no pressing. And that for me was the biggest alarm bell because I was like, Tudor, like his entire ethos, his principles, press like animals, charge at them, don't give them any time on the ball. Colomwani, not pressing. Dusan Vlahovic, not pressing. Nico Gonzalez, not pressing. Everybody's playing so deep. Like Kefram Turam, I love the guy, but I was thinking, why is he playing so deep next to the centre halves? Like, be brave, go at them. And then, bro, they go 1-0 down. And then, like I said this on my review, when they went 1-0 down, in my head, I was like, Juventus are not scoring. I was like, you could see their heads are not there. I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know if they were nervous. I don't know if it's the pressure. I don't know if it's the fact that, like we could touch on this later, like some of them don't care because their futures are not at Juventus next season. So they're thinking,
a really good question.
I don't need to give 150%. If you get Champions League football, I'm not here. If you don't get Champions League football, I'm not here. So it was so disappointing, bro. And then after the game, like I check on my phone, Lazio, Genoa, they won. Fiorentina, Cagliari, they won. And then I'm thinking, in 2 weeks' time, Bologna, Lazio. It's not looking good. And once again, just like how I mentioned, this was a big game in terms of pressure. Can you handle the pressure? This season, I've got a list. PSV, they couldn't step up. They bottled it when it came to like big pressure moments. Empoli, Coppa Italia, big pressure moment, they got knocked out. Atalanta, me and you were sat saying, they beat Atalanta, maybe they can be in this area title race. You lose 4-0 at home. Okay, next week, Fiorentina. Can you show us a reaction? No. 3-0. Fiorentina, Parma, big pressure moment for top four. They lost once again. Manchester City, they beat Pep Guardiola, Manchester City in the Champions League. Everyone's excited. You're thinking, go on, kick on. 2-2. Venezia, they needed Dusan Vlahovic last minute penalty. I'm now sat telling myself, Bologna, Lazio, big pressure moment once again. And the pattern is big pressure moments, you drop points. And do they want Champions League, Beppe? You tell me.
I even have more games on my list.
Go for
that
it,
I
bro.
prepared.
I got my list as well.
Milan Supercoppa. And you're eliminated. Napoli, you play well in the first half. Eh? You score with Colomani at the end. And you drop because you are scared to win against Napoli. You're scared to win. Look, match day 33 on paper could have been beneficial for Juve. Could have been beneficial because Bologna, Atalanta were playing against team where they could potentially have lost points. Worst case scenario, you win and you continue with the same distance from Atalanta, this same distance. That was the worst case scenario. Yesterday, with all the teams that did their job and won, we were the only one not doing our job. I think it's really a disaster. There are some questions that I have. Maybe you have some answers because I couldn't answer them. I couldn't explain them to the people that are watching the channel. By the way, if you are watching, put a maximum of like here on the channel today. Don't forget about it. Subscribe and also go to the channel of Hajj. Link is always into the description. You go there and you subscribe because he's delivering fantastic Juve content, Milan content, Serie A content. So go there. Don't forget about it. But one of the questions that I had is, how on earth do you enter the game like that? What happened between Lecce and Parma? 11 days. What happened? Because there was some enthusiasm. No? We did well with Tudor. There was no calcio champagne, but we did well. 2 wins when we needed to win. There was a draw against Roma, but we delivered a performance. You know that it's important against Parma. You enter that way. I don't understand. I cannot explain myself how that enthusiasm, that will, that intensity, that aggressivity, words that are synonym of Tudor, they disappear like that. Because I said it today, we entered the game against Parma with huge arrogance. I don't know if you agree with me, but we entered with arrogance like will be a piece of cake, which I was absolutely not expecting from a team like the one of Tudor. We entered with the first shot after 30 seconds of Locatelli, and then you see that Parma is taking the ball possession in their home easy, and you see, like you said, zero pressing. Is it because we wanted to manage a bit and pushing towards the end? Maybe, but we never saw Juventus coming back. Not in the first quarter, nor in the second, nor in the third, especially not in the second half. I was extremely disappointed yesterday by the performance, and I have a lot of questions that I cannot understand. How on earth do you enter a game like that? Why?
I think you got it spot on, bro. Like 11 days, 1 game a week. It's not like there's Coppa Italia that you're resting your players for, or Champions League. 11 days, and Tudor's record was what? 2 wins, 1 draw. And I'm thinking, like, once again, with all due respect, I'm thinking Parma, come on, like, it's not going to be smooth, but you can win. Like, they nearly beat Inter. I just feel like they underestimated them so much that when they did realize, oh, these dudes are good. Oh, these dudes are playing for something. Like Parma, their season is practically over. Like, they're not getting relegated, and they're not really getting any higher than 14th. But you have to bear in mind, the small teams, the ones in the bottom half of the table, when the big boys come over, that is a big day for them.
It's the game of their life. Of course, it's the game of their life.
It's their final. When Juventus come to town, it doesn't matter if this is Juventus 5th, 6th. We know the history. When they come to town, it's a big game. We want to step up. And even when I was watching that game, I was like, this was the first time I watched football, and I don't know what the Juve logo is, and I don't know the Parma logo, and I don't know the color of the kits, I would think Parma is the team playing for Champions League football, and Juve is the team where the season is done. Like they're just waiting for the next month so then they can go on their holidays. There was no intensity, bro. There was no aggression. And it was disappointing to see because I'm sat watching the game and I'm thinking, you guys know what Bologna just done. You guys know Roma are on crazy form. You guys know Fiorentina, Lazio probably can win. And everybody wants that fourth spot. Yeah, to be honest, some of them might even want the fifth spot. Everybody wants it. Everybody's on form. Just go and get the job done. Even if you lose, like sometimes you lose, but at least you could turn around with your head held high. The team lost, but you're like, you know what? You guys gave 150%. With all due respect, I don't think that Juve team even gave 60%. Bro, like, no clear-cut opportunities. Shots from 30 yards that weren't even troubling the goalkeeper. And from a tactical aspect, Parma off the ball, they go in a back five. Do you know what's the one thing a back five team loves more than anything? Because when you go back five, you've now got 3 centre halves, you've got 3 centre backs. Do you know what they love? Crosses into the box. They've got 3 defenders, bro. Conceição, cross into the box, header away. Weston McKennie, cross into the box, header away. Cross. 37 crosses, bro. And if I was to tell you what's the conversion?
All in the hands of Suzuki. Easy. It was a training session plus for him. It was easy. I think that his goalkeeper kit is clean. He never dove. He didn't have to. Didn't have to. I was really disappointed yesterday. I was really disappointed. I told you, we entered with arrogance thinking it will be easy. From the moment that you understand that it will not be easy, that you are not able to find something, you go with shaky legs. We mentioned the games, Empoli, PSV, Atalanta, and all these games. This team, we are speaking about the team that only once this season was able to go with 3 wins in a row. Only one time this season we're able to do that in Serie A. So it's a team that never woke up. And when you are close to do something okay, because we're already speaking about a possible 3rd spot, that team goes in shambles. That team is scared, lacking quality, lacking personality, lacking leadership. Tell me more. Is it more quality? Is it more leadership, personality? Because these are words that I think all of them can be linked with Juve. Is it the coach? Thiago Motta is gone. You have Tudor. It was working. You know, that looks like that Tudor effect yesterday as well. He was there looking like, I cannot do anything anymore for them. It was not the same Tudor that I saw against Genoa. Taking that ball, go, throw in fast. I didn't see it yesterday. What happened? Why? Igor, what happened? I was not expecting that from a team like Tudor. So what is it? Is it the players? Is it the quality? Is it that leadership? I don't know.
See, now I have a theory. I might be wrong, but I've watched football for a very long time. And sometimes I see things like history repeats itself. Yesterday, when I was watching Tudor, even when I was watching like his press conference before the game, and then I saw the starting 11. This is just a theory. Now, this is just my opinion. I might be wrong. Time will tell. I don't think Tudor, as much as he is the coach, I don't think he has much of an influence on the starting 11. Now, it might be a hot take. It might be, I'll explain. Yesterday, when I looked at the starting 11, I looked at some of the players, and I also bear in mind some of the players that don't get any opportunities, that come on for 5-10 minutes. And I'm sat telling myself, a lot of the players that are starting for reasons outside of football. So, for example, I'll give you 5 minutes to just say whatever you want to me about Dusan Vlahovic. Okay, I will give it to you, and I will stay quiet. Yeah, I will stay quiet. But Dusan Vlahovic, starting in this Juve team, he's not starting because of his consistency as of late, because of his goal-scoring form. Dusan Vlahovic, there's politics behind why he is starting. He is starting because Juve, it's crystal clear. He's leaving. Juve want him gone. So this is now a perfect opportunity for you to increase the price of him. Like, imagine he scores a hat-trick in the next 2 games against Monza and Bologna. Bro, in the summer, if Tottenham want Dusan Vlahovic, you could turn around and be like, you see what he done? You see what he done towards the end of the season? I want an extra 15 million for that. So when I was watching the game, and I was watching like Dusan Vlahovic just struggling, and he's not doing, like, he's having a very negative impact on the team, yeah, a net negative. So I was like, this guy is starting not for footballing reasons. Okay, that's one. Then I'm looking at Nico Gonzalez, and I'm like, I don't think he's starting for footballing reasons either, because he's a signing, and this applies also to Lloyd Kelly. Nico Gonzalez, Lloyd Kelly, they're both signings that a lot of the Juve fans have criticized, and they've criticized Gintuli. Like, why would you sign them? They're not worth the money. In Gintuli's eyes, if these players play from now till the end of the season and Nico Gonzalez, man of the match, Nico Gonzalez scores 2 goals, everybody will look at Gintuli and say, we were wrong. You got it right. And I'm sat telling myself, he doesn't deserve to be starting for footballing reasons. Lloyd Kelly, me and you like touched on it on like WhatsApp, like he can be a scapegoat at times and this and that. But the mistakes, like the amount of times he gets beat in the air, I'm like, is he playing because if he performs well, Gintuli can be like, told you guys, this is why I signed him. But bro, that's now 3 players in the team that, in my opinion, are starting for non-footballing reasons. But because of that, Conceição doesn't play much because in everybody's eyes, he's leaving in the summer. So why are you going to give him minutes? Why are you going to develop him? You don't gain anything from Conceição playing. You'd rather play Nico Gonzalez because he's your player. The same thing can be said about Kolo Muani. You would rather drive the price tag of Dusan Vlahovic, who you're going to sell, than Kolo Muani. If Kolo Muani scores 5 hat-tricks, he goes back to PSG. PSG in the summer can tell Tottenham, you see what he done at Juventus? I want 20 million. They're not giving the 20 million to Juventus. They're giving the 20 million to PSG. And that thought just came to mind yesterday when I was watching the game, because I was like, it's not merit. These guys are not performing, and there's players on the bench that can maybe have a bigger impact. And at the end of the day, like, it comes down to whether or not you're ambitious enough. Like, what do you prioritize more? Getting an extra 10, 15 million when selling a player, or getting Champions League? Because, bro, I was watching the game and I was like, Nico Gonzalez, no. Vlahovic, if I was the coach, with all due respect, 25 minutes, I would have taken him off. And I am his biggest fan. His biggest fan.
Look, I tell you that after the second lineup that we saw, so the second game against Roma, when I saw the lineup again, I said, it's strange because it's already the second time that we are playing with our players, and bar Renato Veiga, all of the players are own players. The lone players are on the bench. Immediately, I said it before even watching the game against Roma. Then I see that we are doing it again with the third one, and I take that idea a bit away because I tell myself, okay, he knows that he has no time to test. He goes with a team that is answering, because we can say what we want. The team was answering. And if we look at the last 10 minutes against Lecce, the people that entered, they didn't answer. Colomani, Conceição. I'm not the biggest fan of Dusan Vlahovic. People know it here on the channel. On the other side, I said, look, if this is the Colomani that I need to see, then I prefer to see Dusan Vlahovic. All of that, of course, before the game of yesterday. And I see, okay, maybe I was exaggerating with that idea, your hot take. I had exactly the same. But then when I see what is happening yesterday, then I go back to these ideas. Why are certain players not playing? You know, there are a lot of players like that. They are questioning yourself. Yesterday, I also blamed Tudor at halftime. You put 5 players away. You change them immediately at halftime. If that's the answer that they are giving to you in the first 45 minutes while you're battling to go back at the 4th spot, when you know that the 4th spot can be given away, that you are risking your job. Tudor is risking his job because not even top 4 will be enough. But if he wants to say the minimal request is top 4, you change 5 players. He changed only 1. We heard later it was because of an injury of Dusan.
Yeah.
But only 1 change. And he waited really long to put Kenan Yildiz. Maybe he had not the minutes in his leg, which shows once again, that he's not trusting all the other players that are on the bench. He's not trusting them because it's not the first time that he's actually waiting really long doing the changes. It's really rare to see Tudor going with 5 changes. And when he's doing them, he's really waiting until the end of the game, which is, according to me, really strange. So I'm not sure if yes or no he has that vision. We play with our players also because I want to prepare that World Cup, because I will be there on the bench and a lot of players will not be there anymore. So I am obliged to play with the one that I have, or not. But I can tell you one thing is that after the performance of yesterday, I really hope that Tudor will not only confirm the one that we're giving some result, but the one that are really deserving to play. Because we are playing our life. He's playing his future at Juve. We are playing our life. the future of Juve in terms of finances, in terms of prestige. Because I don't know if you watch the ranking of Serie A, it's not only top four that is at risk, but also Europa League is at risk. Also, European competitions are at risk because under us, we have Lazio, Fiorentina, we have Roma that are only at 2 points from us. We can finish easily ninth if we are not doing our job.
No, bro. Like,
You don't win a single duel. You watch the stat, you know, you don't win a single duel. How is it possible they are committing again the same mistakes? Whoever you put there, that it's Kelly, that it's McKennie, Cambiaso, whoever that is there, you concede always the same goal on the second post. Yesterday it was not a set piece, but it was kind of, because if you see the space that they are giving the player to go with that cross is horrible. Yesterday, Kelly is to blame on that. It's not the first time that he's losing an aerial duel. It's our tallest player, and he's not able to find the timing to jump because he's not close to his player first in the first instance. Then he's not physically going to the player. Yesterday, the goal is on him, like it's also on McKennie and Gonzalez that are not pressing that player, that go with a cross because they leave him all the time in the world. Like Cambiaso, you need to answer me. What is happening with Cambiaso? Where is Cambiaso? Where is the Cambiaso from the first part of the season? Where is he gone? I don't know.
I think with Cambiaso, I think, and this is why, like I mentioned it earlier on in the video, I think
Who was the worst one according to you yesterday? And then I let you speak about Cambiaso.
that's a tough question. I have to say it. Vlahovic, you know what you're doing, but Vlahovic was bad. Like, bro, I couldn't believe, like, Genoa, my eyes were bleeding. Yesterday, I was like, brother, come on, like, Lecce, we were going to us. Yesterday, it's like, Vlahovic is a big guy. Like, I don't know what he is, like 6'2", 6'3". That kid, I think his name is Giovanni
Leone.
18. Every time I've watched him with Parma this season, it's been amazing. But yesterday, I was like, 18, you're coming up against 25-year-old seasoned pro. Vlahovic always goes to the floor and looks at the referee. When you're physically built like that, you don't need to go to the floor. Just hold it up. Vlahovic was very, very, very poor.
I will tell you even more. You know that Leone, he was not even supposed to man-mark Vlahovic. Because it was the other defender, Vogliacco, but after 10 minutes he got injured. So the guy didn't even prepare the game to man-mark Vlahovic. At a certain moment, after 10 minutes, he's going there in the center, 18 years old. I play against Dusan Vlahovic. He didn't need to push him. He was just blowing like a... And he was falling on the ground because Dusan Vlahovic yesterday was losing before going into duels. And that's my biggest blame to Dusan, that he has the ability to put himself out of the game like that, just like that. He loses his duels before going, which is not okay. Because then the guy is the 18 years old guy, Leone, is gaining confidence. You saw it growing in the 45 minutes.
He's good.
He was not scared anymore.
Good. Vlahovic has always been like, sometimes I look at football and I'll give you like a great example. For me, like, emotions, it's part of the game in football. Now, the players with the good mentality, as much as I like Dusan Vlahovic, I've always said mentality, we can work on it. Vlahovic is a very, very, very emotional player. Like, you could see when he isn't scoring, when he gets taken off, he's sad, he's complaining. Like, when Vlahovic scores, he scores for 4 or 5 games in a row. When Vlahovic doesn't score, he goes 10 games without a goal. He's a very, very, very emotional player. And for me, I always tell myself, like, players where it's not going your way, you're emotional, you're sad, you're angry. Some, they use that emotion to fuel them. So it's like a car. They use it as like petrol, diesel. I'm not scoring. I'm not playing well. All of the media, everybody's criticizing me. I'm emotional, but I'm going to use that emotion to fuel myself and prove everybody wrong. Some, they go the opposite direction. It's not working out. They're getting criticized. They're being doubted. They just crawl into a little ball and they just accept their fate. When you're seeing Vlahovic drop to the floor every single time and just put up his hands and complain, that's a guy that, like, is like crying out for help. Like, help me. Like, just I can't do it. But in reality, you can do it. And the example that I wanted to give is you look at Vini Jr. at Real Madrid. Last season, he had an amazing season. Like, in my opinion, he should even won the Ballon d'Or. But then, bro, he started off the season good. When it came to like October, November, the Ballon d'Or ceremony, when he didn't win the Ballon d'Or, finish. Social media, he's losing control. Ever since the Ballon d'Or ceremony, Vini Jr., he's been horrible. He's been horrible. He can't control his emotions. He goes onto the pitch. He looks angry. He looks sad. He looks like he's been hard done by. Use that emotion. Use that anger to like give you a kick up the arse. Like, sorry if I can't say that. To give you a kick.
But it's true. It's true. I totally agree with you on that one. But you know what is really strange is that he's coming from a change of coach where he's playing, starting, no doubts about him being the starter with Tudor. That spoke really well about him. He starts the 4th game in a row as the number 9. He comes from a game of Lecce that, he just got 2 assists, 2 winning assists, because at the end it was decided. So he has also that new trust. Okay, he didn't score. It's true. Genoa, he didn't play well. Roma, according to me, a bit better, but not well. Lecce did well. I'm not his biggest fan. I said, if I see Colomani entering like that and I see the performance of Dusan with Lecce, probably it's a time to continue to play with Dusan, because I don't care who's playing. As long as it's the best one at disposal, that is giving everything, and they are giving me the 3 points at the end, Pinsoglio can play as a striker. I really don't care. I have no favoritism about that. But he comes from he's playing against an 18 years old and he's losing all his duels. Yesterday he goes out at the 45th minute. They tell me injury. Boo. I didn't see anything. It's a big one. Cambiaso, because then I want to speak about Kelly as well. What about Cambiaso? Because you were about to speak about Cambiaso. I think yesterday he did a really bad game, because if Dusan, we are speaking about his first 45 minutes, well, Cambiaso played 90 minutes, and according to me, really bad.
With Cambiaso, I feel like it's been like a very odd case this season, where he's always been known as Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable, versatile, left back, right back. You want me to invert, I'll invert. You want me to play as a winger, I'll play as a winger. This season, he started off well, I'll be honest with you. Like the game against Como, the game against Verona, the first 2 games of the season, I was watching him, like the little relationship he was building with Kenan. I was like, this is nice. 2 young players, but 2 good players. I don't think he always saw eye to eye with Mota, but like as of late, I'm beginning to believe in what people are saying, which is maybe, just maybe, in the back of his head, the rumors to Manchester City have made him feel like he's better than he actually is. Now, he's a talented footballer. He's quality on his day. I feel like sometimes you need to remain calm, continue performing. And yesterday, and by the way, yesterday for me was not one of his worst of games. Like he was bad. I've seen bad Cambiaso performances this season. And I'm just sat telling myself, like, is there a thought in the back of his head telling him, I want out in the summer, so I don't care. Champions League, I don't care. And it's a shame, because he's always been a player that I looked at and said, good mentality. He cares about Juve. Like you could see it in his performances, in the passion, in the hunger. But it's like ever since January, ever since that rumor came, he hasn't been the same. And like at the end of the day, bro, like we're humans. Like they're not robots. Like when you get offered an opportunity to be managed from the best coach in the world, Pep Guardiola, and they're willing to pay a big amount of money, and you're telling yourself, I can go over there, compete for the Champions League. I can go over there. Like, of course, let's scrap this season. But
no, but you're right. But are you not giving me the answer of what is happening to Juve at the moment? Okay, we just said it. Renato Veiga, no chance that he stays at Juve. Dusan Vlahovic, Juventus doesn't want him to stay. He could potentially stay if he doesn't receive any offer or if he doesn't accept them. But he is not welcome in terms of sustainability, the salary that he's earning. And that's already 2. You have a Cambiaso, as we were just speaking about. He wanted to go to Manchester City. Maybe he's dreaming still about it. Maybe he's sad because they will not go for him anymore. We don't know. And that's our 3rd player. Colomani will probably go back to Paris Saint-Germain. You have Conceição. We heard the rumors that will probably not be extended. So you have
Douglas Luiz.
Douglas Luiz, that is already out more than in.
Mm,
Co-banners, we don't know. So there are actually 50% of the team that is not sure to be there next season. And that's what you mentioned already earlier. But it's a huge, big one. Huh? It's a huge, big one. What I don't understand is why, which Genoa, Roma, Lecce, you do that extra mile, you do that extra pressing, you do that extra effort, you even have results. And why you don't do it against Parma? At least from the people that are starting, because yesterday it was not the loanies that were a problem because they were not playing. It was the starters that were not even playing. Thuram, according to me, one of the worst performances of the season.
mm.
Thuram, he was nowhere yesterday. He was not there with his mind. He was, as you said, dropping back. He was too far away. But he was not there. He was missing a simple control. He was scared. Locatelli, 146 touches against Lecce. Yesterday, after the first half, 31. He was hiding. He was not there, and he was not even the worst one in the first half. Then he started to decrease in the second half, where he didn't play well. But so many players yesterday, they were hiding. They were not taking accountability. I can't explain myself why. Without any changes, maybe the 11 days, something happened there. It was too long. They needed to continue on that wave of Tudor enthusiasm. Beautiful, everything is going well. I can't explain myself how you show up like that. That's my biggest question that I cannot explain myself. I really can't. Or maybe Tudor wanted to do something, wanted to change something, wanted to play, which probably he should not have done yesterday. You cannot play. You don't have time to play. He said it himself after the game. If you want to score, if you want to do that, you cannot do it if you don't have the will, that envy, if you are not nasty. You need to put that ball into the goal. That's what he said yesterday. If you go with patterns, with combos, if you don't have that nastiness, it will never work. But maybe Tudor himself wanted to show that he was more than a caretaker. And maybe the guys were totally lost. I don't know. I try to understand what happened yesterday.
I think for me, it's a lack of character, bro. Like, as in, I remember like the first time I was on and we sat down and spoke about like who could be Juventus captain, and we were like, Motta's already given it to 7 players. And let's be honest, if player number 1 stepped up and showed he was a good captain, you wouldn't have given it to player number 2. But the fact that you went 1, 2, 3, 4 is because whoever you gave it to didn't really step up. And I just look at it and tell myself, when Tudor first came in, it was a breath of fresh air. Motta is gone. There's a lot of negative energy around the club, like the players having a falling out with him, all of these things. New manager comes in, you get the new manager bounce. Okay, like they didn't play amazing against Genoa, but they got the job done. Then they went to Roma, the most informed team, 1-1. Then they went to Lecce. You're finally beginning to see the high press. You're beginning to see some swagger, some confidence. You're thinking, go on, kick on. I wouldn't be surprised if these players, when they're not training, when they're not playing, they're keeping an eye on the table, when they're thinking, when Tudor first took over, we had a gap between Bologna and these teams. Like, we had a cushion. And they're probably now sat, oh, Bologna just beat Inter. But Bologna took 4 out of 6 points from number 1 in this area and number 2 in this area. They're probably looking at them and thinking, you know what it is? When you start to doubt yourself as a footballer, as a coach, that's when it's a recipe for failure. Because I think they're looking at themselves and saying, that team is better than us. They've got better players. They've got a better system. They're going to get it. No. Like, ignore what's going on.
Then you're not worth to dress the shirt of Juve. You're not worth it.
And that's why, for example, this season, from the start of the season till now, everything's been questioned. Motta's been questioned. Tactics have been questioned. Vlahovic has been questioned. One thing that is constant from the beginning till now, character mentality. Because I've said it so many times.
It's true.
These dudes, they don't know what it means.
Is that the biggest mistake of Giuntoli on not making his researches about the character, the person, the leadership of players? Because I think you said it to me, yeah? Koopmeiners is not a leader. Is not a leader on the pitch. But if you take him and that becomes your leader, even receiving vice captain bent, then the captain bent at a certain
Mm,
moment because you want to make him a leader. It doesn't work like that. I can tell you, I have 20 years of management experience. I tried in the beginning of my career when I was young to make everyone a leader because you know it. If everyone is a leader,
mm,
but it's not like that. It doesn't work. If you are not a leader, you will never become a leader. You can have some shortcuts. You can learn some tips. You can become maybe a good vice leader, but you cannot become a leader. You cannot. There is no way to become a leader. Or you have it or you don't have it.
yeah.
And that's wrong because we have no leaders here. The only one I can tell you, the only one, and it's not my preferred defender, but it's probably Gatti
Mm,
in terms of leadership. He's the only one. He's probably the only leader that we have in the team, set aside from Bremer. Uh, it's the only one. And you see that he's not there on the pitch. Yesterday, I saw at the 69th minute a tackle from Locatelli out of
oh, I know which
pure
one.
frustration.
I know
He
which one.
went,
I know which one.
and I tell you, this tackle, I love when you're trying to hurt the player
Mm,
in a good way. Huh? If it's followed by, guys, wake up. This is the alarm sign. Guys, wake up. Do something. But you know what happened yesterday? After doing that tackle, he's not speaking to the team. He's looking to the ground. He's speaking to himself. And that's where I say that tackle is only frustration without leading the team. And that's a big pity because then it makes no sense to make a foul like that because the only thing that you're receiving is a yellow, risking a red card. And that's a pity. If you're doing it with a message for your team, then I can appreciate it. Yesterday, I didn't appreciate his tackle. Kelly, why? Is he the scapegoat from all the Juventini? You know that, or maybe you don't know, but I have defended Kelly a lot here on the channel, except of yesterday, because
mm.
yesterday that mistake is huge. But I have defended him a lot. Why is he the scapegoat? And why
I
are
think
people sending me to your channel? Hey, you see, Hajj is speaking bad about him. He's right and you are wrong. Because that's what they are telling me. I say hello to our friend from Denmark that is always harassing me in my comments. Thank you, Mikkel, my friend.
I think with Kelly, I'm not a fan, okay, but with Kelly, it's just unfortunate. The criticism, the dislike, the the micro analyzing of Lloyd Kelly, it stems from the context around his signature. That, and I'll be honest, as much as so many times when I've criticized him, like even when I done like a Juventus transfers ranking, I was like, 75% of the reason why people get onto him so much is because in the back of their heads, they're thinking 20 million obligation to buy. He wasn't playing at Newcastle. I think he was like their fifth ranked defender. Then you tell yourself 20 million Lloyd Kelly, 13 million Dean Huyson, and now Chelsea, Real Madrid, they all want him. I'll be honest, bro. It doesn't sit right in anybody's heads because you're thinking this is just poor squad building. And this is why like Gintuli's come under.
I will even add one more.
Mm,
Arrival on the 3rd of February, on the last day of transfer market, when it was clear that this was not your choice because you were on even Araujo from Barcelona.
mm.
And then you come with Lloyd Kelly. So this one I wanted to add. I let you I let you continue.
No, it's spot on, bro. Like, as in, you could clearly see a lack of planning. Fair enough. Some people might say, "Oh, like Juventus would have never grabbed them if Bremer didn't get injured, if Gatti." This, at the end of the day, like there must be a short list in mind, a contingency. I always say a contingency. If the striker, I don't know, God forbid, ACL injury out for 18 months, you need to know in the back of your head, this guy's available for this amount of money. This guy's available on a short-term loan. This guy, we've got a good relationship with the club. We can negotiate something quickly. It comes on the last day. It's a panic buy. And nobody ever likes panic buys because history has shown panic buys don't do well. And you could see even when he came to Juventus, like he did not look ready. His first few games were a calamity. And I think where the difference between him and Veiga is because I'm actually pushing the idea towards Juve actually signing Veiga. Now, Veiga, as of late, he's been shaky, he's made mistakes. Veiga, first game he came in, I believe it was PSV. I think that was his first game, PSV Champions League. He comes in, no training, no media work. Like straight away, you're starting tomorrow. And he was solid, bro.
It's
He
true.
grew.
It's true.
He showed mentality. He showed hunger. He showed passion. Kelly, it was slow. He came. You could see he's nervous. You
Also
see
playing as a left back. Don't forget about that.
playing in a different position, but you could see what this Juve team has been crying out for: mentality, characters, leaders. Veiga brought a bit of it. Kelly didn't. He brought the opposite: shy, timid, short on confidence, playing out of position. It's not helping because now when you make mistakes, people already are against you because of the deal. And now
Yeah.
you're giving them another reason to be against you because of your performances. And I like me and you even yesterday, we were chatting on WhatsApp, and I was like to you, look, he's had some good games under Tudor. Like he's had some games. I think it was Genoa because I done a video on it.
Look,
And I was like,
am I right if I tell you that the one probably in defense, speaking about defense, the one that benefited the most to the arrival with the new system is Kelly in that three-man defense, while probably in defense the one that didn't benefit about it, it's Renato Veiga. Because Renato Veiga playing extremely far because it's a three-man defense. We were used to see him going on his man, leaving his spot, going up, being the first one, super aggressive. Now he's obliged to hold. If you're looking at the heat maps of the game, you see in every single game of Tudor, Renato Veiga is extremely deep, waiting, holding. And probably he's penalized by that new change, while Kelly is doing much better in that way of change. So probably, that's what I see at today. But I think that also Renato Veiga, as you said, 21 years old, that leadership, that charisma, some Italian channel, they were calling him El Tribunero, the one that is commenting, that is interacting with the stands. In Argentina, they are using that a lot. In South America, that word, El Tribunero. Well, that brought us to actually judge him better than probably he actually is at today. Because I can guarantee you that Renato Veiga is doing 2-3 mistakes per game. Yesterday, and I will be extremely unpopular, according to me, until the goal that arrives at the 45th, I think that Kelly was better than Veiga. There were 4-5 crosses by Parma where Kelly was taking all of them. Then, at a certain moment, you are judged because you can see the goal, and that's a huge one because of Kelly. All the things that happened before, yes, but it's on Kelly without any discussion. But I think it's also, the position that he's making like that. He's the third man on the left where we are always conceding goals. I can guarantee you can put whatever player there in this moment because Juventus is not able to defend them. These kind of set pieces, crosses, whoever is there will concede a goal. And I think that's also why I think we are sometimes over blaming Kelly because I see some comments, Hajj, nobody on earth will ever convince me that he's a professional player. Now, I just want to add one thing about that. Do I dream to see Kelly as a starter of Juve? No. Do I think that he's able to be a starter in a strong Juve that is competing for Scudetto? No. Do I think that he's worth 25 million euro? Absolutely not. I don't think it's a Juve material, Kelly. I just defending him sometimes when you are just pointing out because of all the things that you just mentioned before, and sometimes going towards it's his fault, while it's sometimes not. There was the last game, I believe we conceded a goal against Lecce, while I personally think it wasn't even his fault because he's there again because he's a defender. Where do you want him to be? But if you're really looking in details about all the history, you see that Cambiaso needs to jump there. He's missing the ball, but we don't like Kelly. We criticize Kelly. That's the only thing that I wanted to say. Then if you tell me, Beppe, the season of the next gen is over, try to invest in Gil Pucce, that is an extremely young player, that is probably not even ready, but at least he's a player with some perspective. I would go and do it. At the moment, this Kelly, I would love to judge him fairly. Yesterday, he was not good. Yesterday, the goal is on him. And it's not the first time that we see these kind of things where he's far in distance with his men. But calma. I think that Renato Veiga is not much better, if not worse, in these moments. I don't know what you think, yeah?
I think, and I'm happy like you touched on like where they were playing because the fact that now Tudor plays back three, and I remember even when Tudor first took over, I done like my predicted 11 under him. I didn't have Veiga as the central centre half. I had Gatti, but Gatti injured. I was like, you put Veiga where Lloyd Kelly is now, game changer. Because when you play the back three, the central one has to sit. the two on either side, they've got license to go into midfield. Like, for example, Inter with Bastoni. Bastoni on the left-hand side, bro, this goes into midfield. He carries the ball. There's a reason why Acerbi is the central one. When I saw Veiga now becoming the central one, I was like, he's taken a lot out of his game, but it's probably because he can do the central role better than Kelly and better than Kalulu. So with Veiga, I feel like if you were to put him on the left-hand side, you see a way different level. But bro, with Kelly, it's always the context. And I feel like as football fans, sometimes when we speak on players, it's not just performances, it's context. And where it hasn't helped is the context is not good. And it's not even his fault. Like me and you said it as well. He didn't go knock on the door and say, sell me for 20 million and put an obligation to buy. He was just sat minding his own business, got a phone call saying, you're going to Juventus on the last day. Pack your bag. I think it's just the fact that it's a very delicate, sensitive part of the season because Juventus, they're playing for Champions League football. So because as of late, whenever they've conceded, the camera is on Kelly. Sometimes he's been out-jumped. Like against Atalanta, in my opinion, he was to blame for 2 goals because he couldn't play out of the back. Like he held onto the ball for too long. He invited pressure because he doesn't have the composure to play out of the back. When you panic, the first thing you do, you just kick it long. Atalanta regain possession, they go score. He's made mistakes,
which sometimes I like. And when we were putting the ball, Giorgio Chiellini was doing it, and when he was doing it, I was applauding. But of course, you cannot do it every single time.
Yeah. So when you take all of these things into account, like ball playing, I don't think he's good. Defending channels, I don't think he's that good. In the air, I think tactically, like Serie A is a very tactical league. Like, it's very different to Premier League, where it's just rock and roll. Like you need to know your position, you need to know your zones, you need to have the anticipation. Like when you see Kelly not jumping in a corner, it's because he hasn't even anticipated the ball is coming there to that player. So it all comes down to reading of the game. But I agree with you, which is 75% of the criticism deep down stems from the context around the signing rather than the performances. But I still keep the opinion, which is I don't think he's good. And I think me and you share that same opinion.
I don't want to see Kelly as a starter in 25-26. I don't want, because that would be another mistake that we are doing. Look, Nico Gonzalez, we already spoke about him as well. I think we spoke about all the players except of Kenan Yildiz, but it's difficult to judge a Kenan Yildiz that yesterday entered. By the way, it was really strange because he enters with the limited minutes that he has at disposal in his legs. He's doing well. And then suddenly we change position with Conceição that goes back to the right side after making Nico Gonzalez as a right wing back. And we don't play anymore with Kenan Yildiz. Really strange. The last 7-8 minutes, we played only on the right to Conceição, not caring about Kenan Yildiz. Really strange what we did yesterday. I don't understand it. By the way, I still don't understand why this team is not playing centrally. I think we are the strongest one. This team is made to play central instead of going to the wings. Yesterday, we were going to the wings. We go to the wings. Cambiaso, that should be the one that runs straight on, and then with his left foot, strong foot, goes with a beautiful cross that goes out of the hands of Suzuki. Yesterday was going up, stopping, going on his right foot, waiting, putting that ball, making sure that everyone was super. I didn't understand it. Tudor made a mistake there, and the players as well. Why are you playing on the wings? I didn't understand it.
I think it's the problem with Juve is I think midfield-wise, centrally, they're very good. Like Locatelli, proper progressive with his passing. Thuram, the ball carrying. So you can progress the ball. I think where the problem is, the reason why Juve don't play a lot centrally is because deep down they know we do not have a 9, and we're going to have to speak about Vlahovic again. We do not have a 9, but when you feed him the ball and he's got his back to goal, like occupying centre halves, he can't hold the ball. And the same can be said about Kolo Muani, because even when Juventus signed him, I was like, he's not your drop deep, play with his back to goal. He's like Osimhen for me, Darwin Núñez, like very chaotic, running behind. When you know you don't have a striker that can drop deep, it makes it very, very, very difficult to play down the middle. And also, when you know our best players are out wide, like Kenan Yildiz, like he is arguably the best player, like the face of this Juve project. you start giving them the ball. But where the problem is, and like you touched with Conceição, it can become like predictable sometimes because like Conceição, the one thing I've always said, and there's a reason why I've always said like I don't have anything against Juve letting him go. I don't see it in the kid. When he's on the ball, watch what I can do. It's never ever give and go, recycle. It's just football, 100 miles an hour. I'm gonna take you on every single time. And bro, like as in if you're gonna take on the fullback every single time and you beat them, but you're good at crossing the ball, you're good at cutting inside and shooting, everyone stays quiet. But the problem is, when you're not that good, the cross doesn't beat the first man. The cross goes out of play. Variety, because it becomes predictable. So why not? Okay, Conceição has done it for the past few times. Put your foot on the ball, pass it back into midfield, pass it out to the left. It's all about using like in a football team. I always say it's all about distributing your weapons. Kenan Yildiz on the left hand side is a weapon. Conceição is a weapon. The midfielders, they're weapons because they bring different things to the table. Use everybody. In the last 15 minutes, it's just one weapon, and it's not really doing the job. You've just got Kenan standing there, like for Instagram photos. Like it's just, it doesn't make sense.
Rounding up, match day 34 on paper should be again beneficial for Juve. Juve playing against Monza in our stadium. Then you see a Lazio against Parma. Parma that maybe they can also stop Lazio. Roma is playing Inter. So it's quite of beneficial for Juve. But we said exactly the same in match day 33, and it ended in a horrible way before taking Bologna and Lazio. Look, if there are one thing you would ask to Tudor and two things that you would tactically change, you can speak about formation or the request that you have to prepare Juve Monza. I don't even want to speak about Bologna Lazio because I will invite you back here on the channel to speak about these games. What would you do? The tip, the advice for Tudor and on the field.
I would take a gamble. Okay, I would actually take a gamble. One, we've seen 3-4-2-1. Okay, so you've got 1-9, and then you've just got the two roaming number 10s.
Yeah.
He showed at Lazio and Marseille in particular, it's not always 3-4-2-1. We can do like a 3-4-1-2. So with 1-10, not 2, 1-10. I would actually go into the next game against Monza because it's going to be crazy if they don't. That's a game Juventus are winning. Okay.
If we don't win, we are out, certainty out of Champions League. Yes, we can say it, right?
Yeah. Because I think the damage mentally will be too much. You've just lost. Monza are already relegated. But they put on a good fight against Napoli. So you need to win that game. I would probably roll the dice and just go. As much as we've sat down and criticized Vlahovic, I would probably go into that game and go 3-4-2-1, 1-10 Kenan, two strikers, because seeing as this team is set up to just keep crossing the ball.
I just give you an update, and Dusan Vlahovic will miss Monza because he went to do the medical test and he's out for 10 days, if not 2 weeks. I already anticipate you. So surely Monza out, probably also Bologna.
Okay, I need to think. You go first. Let me think.
Yeah, I have no idea what I would do. No, you know why I have no idea? I'm not ashamed to say it because we tried to overprotect them. It didn't work. We tried to punish them. Didn't work. We tried to scream, to yell. Didn't work. We tried with, a lot of motivations with a new coach. We even changed the coach. Didn't work. It looks like in terms of motivation off the field, it's not working. Whatever you do, from the moment that they have pressure, it's not working. And if they throw away a game like Parma, that you were obliged to win, I cannot even tell you that they will win against Monza. I'm extremely scared. I don't know what is the formula for these players. It's like a baby. You scream on him and he goes like frozen, But if you are overprotecting him, then it's not moving because he becomes lazy. So it's really difficult. This team puts me really in difficulty in choosing what you need to do in terms of the mental aspect. Then, if you're speaking about the on the field, well, I would have loved to tell you 4 weeks ago, Colomani will start, but he was better in the second half yesterday. But if you are looking at the Colomani even better of yesterday, it's not enough. It's not enough. I have absolutely no idea. I would tell you put Koopmeiners, but Koopmeiners, it's not that he did a beautiful season there this season. So I'm really lost. If I would have been the coach, I think that yesterday I would have gone in the Thiago Motta position on my knees with a bottle of water and maybe then saying to Juntali, please, I can't because I don't know what is working.
Oh, I would. Yeah, like seeing as it's. I think if I was Tudor, I'd look at these players and say, I'm playing whoever's hungry.
It's tough. It's really tough. But one thing is sure: if you cannot beat Monza, guys, take all the remaining points and give them just like that. And I don't want to comment them being because yesterday I was really ashamed. I was really ashamed to watch it.
Do you think they get it before we wrap up?
The top four.
So in 1 month's time, me and you will be here doing an end of season review. Do Juventus get Champions League football? And if they don't, what do they get? Do they get Europa League, conference, or completely out?
Look, before Parma, I said here on the channel, we finished third. I was convinced about it. Convinced, but 100% convinced. Because I said Atalanta, maybe they will have, they will slip. Bologna, I was not scared because of their calendar. Roma neither. The only one that was scaring me a bit was Lazio. I think that today we are not officially out of Champions League. A lot of people they said it's already out. No, we are not because we are at -1. So mathematically we can do it. If we win Monza, you do two beautiful results against Bologna and Lazio because it can happen. Even if today people are negative and they cannot imagine beating them, but one game is not the other. But the problem is that I don't trust that team. It could be that you beat Bologna and Lazio and that you will lose against Udinese. I don't trust my Juve at the moment. That's the problem. So telling you yes or no, it will be more an act of faith, of hope, a wish that I have more than a reality. This team, I would tell you even more. I'm not even sure if we can beat Monza. And that tells you all. I'm not sure. Monza, you know what? The first win ever in Serie A was against Juve. And you will see that their last win in Serie A will be against Juve before they go in Serie B. You will see. You will see. I'm scared. Now,
it's a tough one. It's a tough one to predict because Bologna have Empoli. No, sorry, they don't have Empoli. That's the Coppa Italia. They have Udinese, which like Milan scored 4-5. So I think they'll beat Udinese. I think Milan need to beat Monza, but they need to beat them comfortably just to give them that confidence. Because if you win 1-0, you still doubt yourself. You're thinking 20th and we if Juve can win 3-4, it will give them that confidence, which is you guys are good. You're better than you think. You just need to lock in. But like me and you said at the beginning, I think that 2 week Lazio Bologna is going to decide who gets top four, who gets Europa League, and who gets Conference League. Because in my opinion, those three teams will get those positions. But I don't know in what order. And coincidentally, they all play one another in 2 weeks. So
look, I tell you, I will go with a more concrete answer. That's what I said, I believe, into this morning's video. The one, or that I said before recording here, I told you, the one that wins in the game, Lazio Juve, qualify to Champions League. So if it's Juve that wins over Lazio, Juve goes in Champions League. If it's Lazio that wins against Juve, it will be Lazio. I don't rate Bologna, not because they are the most informed team. They are the most beautiful team now, but I think that they will not make it.
I don't.
Juve, Milan, Fiorentina, then a Genoa that could potentially, I don't know. I will tell you even more. I don't see Bologna winning against Udinese. You know why? Because this time they are fourth. Now they have the pressure. They are obliged to. They will think that after beating Inter, your favorite, you are there to make a miracle. Now they have the pressure against Udinese.
I don't know, bro. Like I think
I'm hoping I'm making these kind of mental games.
I don't agree with you because I'm thinking they'll beat Empoli tonight, and I think that confidence of beating Inter, being in a Coppa Italia final, bro. I think they beat them. But you have to bear in mind, I think, I haven't checked the list.
Did you see the change of strategy? I went from we will not win against Monza to we will qualify to Champions League.
It's Bologna Juve for me. Lazio, from when I've watched them this season, Baroni, he's doing a good job, but I have a lot of question marks over the way they play, and I just
okay.
I don't know.
Let's make a last game easy. Top 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the end of the season. Hajj and Beppe. Let's see. Who is number 1? Who wins the Scudetto?
I got Napoli.
I have the same. On that one, we agree. Second?
Has to be Inter.
Yeah.
Inter.
Third?
Atlanta have only one tough game. Atlanta will get it.
After yesterday, I agree. I said no, but after yesterday, Juventus threw it away. I think yes. And now we go towards the 4th spot. Who goes fourth?
Boy. Okay. Who's going first, me or you?
I tell you, Lazio.
Oh no. Put it for me. I know we're doing 1 to 4. Put me Lazio 6.
You want to go to 6? Okay, Lazio for you 6th. I put Lazio 4th. Huh?
I'm going Bologna 4. I think they beat Juve, and I think that decides it. It's crazy. We both have Juve in top 4.
You put Juve 5th.
Yeah. Juve for me, Europa League. Lazio, not for me. I haven't seen enough to be convinced by them.
I go with top 4. Juve will be 5th as well, with Bologna 6th.
Oh, so our difference is Bologna, Lazio. That's not good. That's not good.
Now it's up to them. Hopefully they will watch this video and they will wake up and they will prove us wrong, because that's of course what I pray for. But yesterday's performance was harsh, really harsh. Let's see. Hajj, it was a real pleasure. For the people that are watching and made it until the end of the video, thanks again for watching the entire video. Don't forget to go on his channel, link into the description. You put a maximum of like under his videos. I'm always happy when you come here and you tell me, Beppe, he was much better than you. He had much better take. Look, we love Vlahovic. We don't like Kelly. Hajj is right. I love that. Go there. Also, the non-Juve videos are really interesting when you speak about Milan, about Inter, about Lazio. It's really nice to have these Serie A content made with a lot of passion. And also, I really love the sense of humor. So it's really a channel that I recommend a lot of time. Grazie, Hajj. Always a pleasure.
I appreciate you having me on. I swear, time flies when me and you are making content. It flies. So that's testament to how good of a host you are, how good your channel is, your community. So I always appreciate it, bro.
Ciao, Hajj.